we have our first semifinal. Well, actually, I think it's the second semifinal. They're both being played at the same time. But it's this stream's first semifinal. It's another PvP. It is a best of 5. In the bottom left of Everdream, it is the blue Protoss ShowTimE. In the top right, as the red Protoss, it is Skillous. And this guy has some fairly good PvP. So, while ShowTimE looked really good against Hearthstone, I do think that Skillous might actually be better. I would say confidently I think Skillous is better at PvP, but there is a bit of a weird effect of just like the amount of Protosses who PvP against each other, you know? Do any of them really have a super strong win rate against another Protoss? Like, I'm not 100% sure, but I do watch a lot of them, a lot of PvPs, and it does seem like what's happening is that the old standards, the more recognizable names, the guys we've been cheering for years and years, actually don't have the best PvP right now. That's where they're getting knocked out of tournaments, is by other Protoss, not by the Zerg or Terran, but that's a wide generalization, and I don't really have any facts to back it up. It just, it's, I think, still a point where a lot of people who aren't necessarily watching all these online cups, right? They're like, Skillous, who's that? ShowTime's gonna kill this guy. And, well, I wouldn't totally depend on that. Quantum Leap had a Ziggy. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure, like, I love Quantum Leap, and I'm pretty sure my mom has mentioned that that's where Ziggy came from. The machine. Alright, pretty important stuff. ShowTimE goes for the fake pylon, the one that's not really going to be used, and then Skillous goes for a very real, very used pylon just outside of his base. Just enough to have ShowTimE scratching his head, wondering what's going on. But he won't actually be able to find it, because it's just in such the odd location. In theory, anyways, he's not supposed to be able to find it. So obviously, it doesn't give him much proxy opportunity. It is hardly a proxy. But it is a little bit closer, and most importantly, it's hiding what he's doing with that pylon. What is that third structure that has come down? Because there's so many different options. I mean, this could be a Stargate, this could be a Robo, this could be... I mean, hell, it actually could even be a hidden Twilight Council for one base CT build. Although that's pretty unlikely. But, yeah, all the options are there, and then in this case, it's going to be a gateway. So I'm not sure that ShowTimE can really tell based off the scout here what it is or isn't. I think you still take the same amount of gas as you would if it was going to be a proxy tech structure. So that's unfortunate for him. I think, I'm not 100% sure, though. I don't think that's, well, yeah, that's ShowTimE, if he thinks he knows what it is. Also, it might help is what's come out of those gateways, but up until now, he didn't actually know. But then he gets very lucky. ShowTimE finds Stalkers, nothing but Stalkers, and also wins the Stalker battle. Barely doesn't lose that one Stalker. And Skillous wants to hunt for it, but since they both have the exact same units, that's, you know, never going to catch up to one another. Stalker coming from the right side, also not going to really be able to help get that one Stalker low. Shield battery is on the way to specifically help that Stalker. He's going to try and circumvent the reinforcements at the very least. Finds a Stalker going up the ramp and barely grabs it. Guardian Shield is super effective in this situation, but more so than that, ShowTimE just has more units, and Skillous' opener is a complete disaster, to be honest. This has not worked out at all. ShowTimE even finding it in his Sentry energy to go for Hallucination to get a confirmation about how dedicated this is. Now sees more Stalkers, knows, okay, I really got to take this seriously. Another shield battery comes down. He has the Nexus energy for a shield overcharge. No Robo, though. I think ShowTimE was playing with fire a little bit by going for a Twilight Council. Banking on the lack of pylons to maybe be a fake, but it certainly isn't. So that Twilight Council really isn't something that's useful right now. Even if you were to start Blink, you wouldn't reap the benefits for, what, a minute and a half? At least a minute? But I think with the shield batteries, he's going to be okay. It is 2 gateways to 3, so theoretically, Skillous would grab the army supply lead, but it's such a small amount of an army supply lead. How is that really going to beat the shield batteries? How is that going to beat, you know, an eventual Guardian Shield? Although a good snipe on that one Sentry. Blink does start up, as well as another gateway, as ShowTimE is really starting to reap the rewards of his Nexus. That's for sure. Up to 10 workers here. Starting to lose some stalkers as the shield batteries run dry. Waiting to use the overcharge until the very last second. Basically the moment where he knows Skillous is really all in. And just tries to rush forward. Some okay force fields coming down. Barely saving that one stalker with a brand new shield battery. Things are still looking good for the blue Protoss. Skillous goes for an even more forward warp in, which he does need. Robo finally comes down for ShowTimE. How many Chronos are going into this Twilight Council? Not a whole lot. I think he's very intentionally not using the energy on his natural because he knows he will eventually need the overcharge. Loses a stalker, loses a sentry, loses another stalker. ShowTimE maybe a little too over-aggressive right there, trying to reach out to the reinforcements, the slow warp-ins. Shield batteries mostly out of juice. There's the overcharge. It's going to help out, but as soon as that happens, Skillous knows to just back away, and that's why ShowTimE is being so careful with it. And now he's at least up to 3 gateways. Same amount of gas income, which is actually kind of a weird, funny thing, right? Because that's where ShowTimE is restricted on, so he should be producing the same amount as his opponent. He's also dedicated to Blink and to Robo, but speaking of that, Blink, it's about to finish up. 12 more seconds to go, and Skillous will be at a severe disadvantage once that technology is done, plus all of these shield batteries that he still has to crack. I think ShowTimE, despite one little blip, one little overextension, is ultimately going to be winning this game number 1. Skillous is desperately trying to micro his heart out, but Blink is done. You can't out-micro Blink. GG. How old is Apollo? He's 7 years old. Let him down over the course of 10 minutes, yeah. Of all the, again, like the Protoss players who people love to cheer for, right? I would say we consider, you know, these players the best Protoss players overall. You know, ShowTimE, Drogo, Hearthstone. One more Protoss I'm certainly forgetting. Damn, I always feel like I'm forgetting someone. Anyways, like they have a lot of weight to their name, right? From different periods of actually being some of the best in the world, or certainly the best of non-Korea. But, I mean, times are not only changing in general, I think times are specifically changing for PvP. It's really hard to be the best at PvP all the time and just show, you know, I am the better player overall in a matchup that has gone through so many different meta changes and so many different metas of just kind of being a little bit 50-50. Coin flippy. So that has changed, I think, the perception of PvP specifically, and our old guard's weaknesses. Being like, well, ShowTime's probably the best Protoss of non-Korea, but that doesn't mean that he's never going to lose at PvP. So that's the perception I was mostly talking about in that last game. But I do think that of all the old guard, that ShowTimE is still showing the most consistently good PvP. And I know, Drogo took him down to that best of 5 for DreamHack. I know, but you gotta admit that was a little bit of a miracle. He was down 0-2, third game he was basically supposed to lose it. It's kind of a miracle. Anywho, proving that he is still pretty damn good at this matchup, and generally one of the best Protoss in the world, it is ShowTimE. Also on the team, Grub with dub-dubs, which gives him a lot of credit. I heard that ZombieGrub chick wouldn't pick people if she didn't know that they were really damn good. That's what I heard. In the top left, there's the red Protoss for Cascade. He is Skillous. No shenanigans here as far as the Nexus first or Gateway Nexus. Both of them still going for the good old-fashioned high ground wall off. But Skillous is definitely doing shenanigans. Just more of the old school shenanigans. Still going for the proxies. In the first game, he hid the gateway, piled on the pressure. In the second game, he really looked like he was going to use that. He might be thinking of not doing a gateway or robo and instead going for a Stargate. Oh, no, really? Huh. So, I thought he was going to put a robo down when he was going to put it down on this side of things. Unless it wouldn't fit. Did he miscalculate? Anyways, and then when he turned over, I was like, oh, maybe he's going to be play safer because he's going for a Stargate anyways. Like, I know it's still a robo, and ShowTime's still going to find it. So the other thing was that maybe he was like, oh no, this is too easily scouted, but this Stalker played it, didn't just go here and go, oh, it's not over on this side, I'm not going to do anything. Like, I fully scouted everything, and this is actually this is a crazy disaster. This is so bad for Skillous. Skillous needs to get with the times, man. It's not about the proxy robos anymore. Just kidding. It's still pretty bad because he was scouted so early that ShowTime could really respond like how he wanted to, but I think ShowTime was already planning a more aggressive attack himself, so it kind of still works out for him. He's going to have 3 gateways. Faster than this robo is going to pump out that immortal, and absolutely faster than the robo will pump out the immortal because the robo has been depowered and might just straight up die. If it dies, Skillous just taps out. 100%. Oh, well, he should just tap out. There's no recovering from this. No way. Alright, well, you know, PvP is funky. PvP is funky because we are like, we anticipate someone who's really committing a lot to cheese, having it fail. We're thinking, oh, the other person must have this much better economy. Well, with PvP, since so many people are pressured to stay on one base, that's not always how it works out, so I should give Skillous a little bit more credit, but he tried to save it. So that was extra resources that he lost in the attempt, and obviously it was so far gone before it failed. If he had just immediately canceled the robo as soon as he planted it down, I'm like, you know, that sucks, but yeah, it was so far gone and it still failed. Oh, okay, well. Skillous is gonna try and make something happen here. ShowTime already on his way to a Nexus, over 50% done. Once again, playing with a little bit of fire by going for a Twilight Council. I mean, again, that doesn't give you an immediate return. You have to wait a long time for it to finish, and on top of that, for Blink to finish. Whereas a Robo into an Immortal, I think, would be a little bit faster, and is also a lot more impactful in those early game. I think that's the most important thing. Is that the Immortal, when it comes out, is a lot more impactful than the Blink is in the early portions. I think Blink is absolutely a good tech to have, but my other point about the Twilight Council being dangerous as opposed to a Robo or a Stargate, in this case, you know, a Robo usually, is that there's no detection. I mean, what if Skillous was going to go into DTs? How dumb would ShowTime feel? But it's not. Skillous is not going into DTs, going for a desperate one-base push where everything's back at home. This has been fully scouted from ShowTime, so he knows to take it very seriously. Just goes on back home, defends, puts a bunch of shield batteries, some even units on top of the high grounds. Stop that War Prism, I assume. And this is actually so much later that Blink is already 60% done. Good block on the Adepts. Skillous is not going to find anything here. He's got an Immortal this time, which would also help tear down some of the shield batteries, given the opportunity, but he's not going to be given the opportunity. That was kind of a cheeky little find there. Stalker with some force fields, but ultimately ShowTime is still covering for the Warp Prism. And with 4 shield batteries in the natural as well as an overcharge, how in the world does Skillous break this? Blink's done. Force fields aren't even that helpful anymore. They help grab a single sentry. But oh, the force fields of ShowTime almost grabbing that Immortal. Good pickup with the Warp Prism. 16 Stalkers to 10 and an Immortal. ShowTime, if he really felt ballsy, he could even try and jump on top of this, but that would be quite the dangerous play. Maybe if he pops the Immortal shield first. Army supplies are still even. The Immortal carrying a lot of the weight of the army here for Skillous, and a couple of those sentries still with a decent amount of force fields could try and help out, but not so much actually. And the shield overcharge is way too good. There's the aggressive blink forward to tear down the War Prism first, Immortal second, and the rest of the army third. GG. ShowTimE. He's pretty good. And he seems to really be feeling PvP. He is all over PvP right now. Anything anyone's throwing at him, he's got a better plan, better execution. Game number 3 could be the last game in the series, especially with the way it's going. I kind of feel like it will be. Skillous doesn't have bad PvP. He has to contend with a lot of the other up-and-coming Protosses all the time in these tournaments, but he's really making my earlier explanation look silly. My whole, well, you know, these top dogs, you know, their PvP can be their weak point. It's such a volatile matchup, and everyone's getting most of their training done with PvP, blah, blah, blah. And ShowTime's like, nah, actually, I'm fine with it now. I'm good. Still one of my best matchups because I'm one of the best. That's how cool this guy is. In the bottom left, he is ShowTimE. In the top right of Eternal Empire, it is Skillous. I really am impressed with ShowTimE slapping down everything so far. He's had 4 PvPs in a row. This will be his 5th. And every game, he has looked like different build orders, different styles, compositions. He's had his opponents throw greed at him and throw all-ins at him. He's defended against that. He's shown us, like, really extreme multitasking and control over a game. Like, PvP, I would say, for, like, a couple of months there was literally just, all right, who has the better force fields around the defense of the natural? One guy's here, another guy's there. Force fields go down. Oh, up to Daisy, someone wins. And it wasn't, like, extremely complicated. It was interesting and it was tense. But it wasn't, you know, really the ultimate display of skill. But I really feel like nowadays it seems that PvP, with its variety, is able to show, like, all the things that make Starcraft 2 beautiful. And I'm not gonna lie, ShowTimE has really been making his own play look quite good. I'm still thinking about that Stalker on left, Stalker on right attack he was doing against Hearthstone, but don't want to gush about this guy too much. He is basically my favorite Protoss, like Zest and then ShowTimE, to be honest. But yeah, he's up there. And I know people are going to be like, ugh, what a crush. And it's like, well, just today in particular, I'm very impressed. But it's not over yet. Skillous is certainly one of those guys who's trying to make a name for himself, who's getting close to making a name for himself every time he appears in a tournament. He's willing to, he's able to snipe people you wouldn't expect. Because, again, people just write these guys off completely when they recognize their favorite players. But it's times are changing. They're changing in PvP, and they're changing in the European hierarchy. The top 8 players mostly say the top 8 players. Yeah, that does still happen. Top 16 as well, mostly the same people. But we actually have a lot of variety in the round of 32. Which is pretty sick to see. So anyways, I still want to give this guy a chance, but he's got to stop with the forward proxy, he's got to stop with the cheese, and he is this game going for a regular timed Nexus. So is ShowTimE, actually, really mirroring each other's builds. Hello? Oh no. Oh no. What is this? Oh no. I was like, wow, it was really fast warp gate by Skillous. He doesn't have warp gate. Oh no. Oh, he realizes, okay. Oh no, that still feels so late. I don't think that was on purpose. I don't think that's a build. I mean, if it was like 20 seconds later, I'd be like, yeah, maybe it was just a build. Ooh, this is like an entire work gate behind. Oh no, and ShowTime's actually setting up for a little bit of pressure. It's not totally committed, he's not proxying a gateway, but he does have a proxy pylon to at least go for some harassment. Going for 6 adepts in total, he can bust down a pylon or a shield battery building. Target many units that he wouldn't otherwise be able to with only 2 or 4 adepts. And this is where, yeah, Skillous being able to react by saying, oh, warping my own adepts. Would be fantastic, but he can't do that. So it's I'm a little scared, but if he continues to defend with a shield battery or gateway, actually, semi score, actually. Sick. Well done, Skillous. But the sentry's right in position, so they missed the chance to get the force field to block out more of the adepts. I mean, okay. Alright, well. Oh, by the way, ShowTime now knows her warp gate wasn't done. Couple things went down there. Alright. This is game over. So, but I want to go over what happened there. Unfortunately, so what happens, right, is that the adepts block the other dip shades. Shades block shades, which is really awesome. You don't get to see it very often, but that was a really good use of it. So the shade finishes, and they're blocked out. And then if the sentries are there to force field, obviously when the shade is off cooldown, they can shade through the force field. But buying the extra 5 seconds or whatever it is to try and, well, usually you try to warp in more units, it's absolutely critical. And, ugh, God, the fact that the sentries weren't in position and he had forgotten warp gate, man. Brutal way to lose that third game. PvP sometimes be brutal, though, I don't know. It is what it is. 3-0 in ShowTime's favor. Moving on to the finals to face the winner of either... Oh, I closed the bracket accidentally. Max Packs or Mana.